Welcome to the Trusted Visions monthly podcast series. Hope everybody in our audience had a great Labor Day weekend. I apologize for the sun in my face. I don't want to brag, but I am on the ocean and it's only 70 degrees. So I figured you'd prefer the view versus just a Drury view. So hope everybody had a great Labor Day. We're going to start, Stacey, this month with a new series. And I've always found this topic interesting of really breaking down the different segments within the broker-dealer industry or the financial services industry, talking about the wirehouse broker-dealers, talking about the independent broker-dealers. And a hot topic is always the RIA side of the world. And so this week, I figured we'd start with the wirehouse model. And to our audience, just know we're not trying to badmouth one segment versus the other. Our job is to give you the pros and the cons of both. And so, Stacey, with that being said, I'm going to start with the positives and let you handle the negatives. Not that you're a negative person, because you're the most positive person I've ever met, but I figured you could be the bad person this time. So, talking about the wirehouse segment, I mean, everybody knows the Edward Joneses, the Merrill Lynches of the world, and they're great firms. And in my opinion, and I actually wrote my thesis in my MBA program on this, of wirehouse versus independence, I think the wirehouse side of the broker-dealer world has a lot of benefits when you're talking about training. I don't know that there's really any broker-dealer segment out there that does a better job of training new advisors on how to just really build a book of business. When it comes to risk versus reward, you have to look at it from the perspective of, do you want to run your own day-to-day business? Do you want to hire an accountant? Do you want to worry about branding and office space and staff and human resources? And so in the wirehouse marketplace, you really don't have to worry about any of that. That's all taken care of for you. That you don't have to worry about health insurance. You don't have to worry about, staff. You don't have to worry about office building. You don't even have to worry about branding and coming up with a brand for your business. So there's a lot of benefits there from the perspective of, it's pretty turnkey when you're starting out in the industry. And I'm not going to steal any of Stacey's thunder as the negatives, but those are all positive things, to where you have an assistant that you're not paying for. You have typically Class A space, and you have a reputable name out there that can resonate with clients when they hear those big firm names. That when you're first starting out, who are you? Why would I even go with you? Well, it's not me. I have this team behind me. And a lot of times you do even have a team behind you. So to me, there's a lot of advantages. I think the biggest advantage to the wirehouse marketplace is really the training. I think there's some firms, I won't mention names out there, but some of these wirehouse firms have the best training programs in place out of anybody out there. So with that being said, Stacey, I'm going to hand it over to you. Like I said, you're the most positive person in the world. So I'd love that you have to cover the negative side. But speaking to our audience, can you talk about the negative side of being with a wirehouse?
You bet. And yeah, geez, Jeremy, you're making me think I deserve the Sunshine Award or something like that. My goodness. Anyhow, yeah, I appreciate this topic. It's interesting as I talk with advisors too, right? As far as what else is out there, or maybe you only came from one segment of the industry and just where are the pros and cons if you went a different route. So I've got to, quote Stephen Covey here, you got to begin with the end in mind.
I love that.
So where do you want to take this business of yours? Let's say you're not just starting off, but as you work with your clients, if you've considered going the wirehouse route, do you work with a lot of small accounts? Do you want the ability to take on any client that comes in, or family accounts? So I think some of the negatives are with the wirehouse is you're going to have X minimum of a client size or account size before you can deal with it. And that can be grating on some people because, well, I live in Iowa, and just, middle America here doesn't necessarily always meet that account minimum. And to say no to a lot of people just might run against the grain for some people. Different parts of the country, maybe it's not such a big deal, but that account size, that's a factor you just need to be aware of and ask a lot of questions on. The other point is, again, beginning with the end in mind, how much flexibility do you want to have from, again, client size, but also the type of business that you're working with? There's going to be just a certain type of business that the wirehouse is going to want you to place in a certain way. So that flexibility of choice from products or even how you go about it It's going to be smaller than some other firms out there, which we're going to cover in other weeks. Again, if it's all you know, then you don't necessarily miss, right? Having some restrictions. Sometimes we refer to it as the box. The box is just smaller that you work out of. And that's from product base and just again, just different flexible choice for your clients. It also impacts you on the technology side. The pros, as Jeremy was saying, is you have some good technology. It's all built right there, really slick to use. But again, some of that flexibility is different if you wanted to plug in a different system, different CRM, different planning system. It's just not as easy to do that because you got to go with the box that you have. And then if you ever outgrow that model, if you do decide you need more flexibility, maybe day one you didn't need it, but day two you do, right? However short or long time period that is, you really have to look out for your contract that you've signed. The Wirehouse is going to own your book. It is going to be difficult to leave. There's ways to go about it, right? But you're going to have to hire an attorney. It is going to take longer. So it's just harder to exit that Wirehouse structure than other firms. And that's, of course, where we come in. If someone was looking to exit, we can help navigate through. It's just a longer process. So those, Jeremy, I think we hit some good positives as well as negatives from this segment of the market. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I would add a couple quick things there is, to our audience, and please don't take this the wrong way, is I've said for over 20 years to our clients on a day-to-day basis is you got to really think of what are you building your practice for? Is it the legacy that you want to build and leave behind, or do you want to build it for somebody else? And for those that say, hey, I can't really make it in this industry without a big name behind me, I would challenge you on that from the perspective of clients, the majority of the time, don't even know who a broker dealer is or what a broker dealer does. And so if you've done the right job by building relationships with your clients, then your clients aren't with you because of the name on your door. They're with you because of you and the expertise that you bring. So I look forward to this month of really digging into this topic for our audience. If you have any questions, anything that you want to talk about that Stacey and I have discussed, please don't hesitate. As always, Stacey, your contact information.
Please feel free to call me at 641-919-6722, or you can email me at stacy.martin@trustedvisions.com.
And I apologize. There's bees all over the place, so I wasn't swatting at you, Stacey. My contact information, you can always call or text me anytime, 480-430-5012, or email me at info@trustedvisions.com. We look forward to this month. Audience, have a great week and great weekend.